Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm a cardist, and I'm interviewing other cardists to see how and why they create, so we can learn how to grow as a community. Welcome to Cardistry Talk. Hello everybody, welcome back to Cardistry Talk. This is episode 24, and today I am joined by Cedric Lancy. He is a card designer and another awesome member of the community. You may know his work from Glider's Cardistry, and he also, right this moment, has a Kickstarter up for his brand, Your Card Legacy, with the deck Compass. Super excited to have Cedric here today, and I think this will be a lot of fun. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We were talking earlier, and we're going to try to do a giveaway. So we'll just open up with that because I know a lot of people like giveaways. It's a very fun thing that we're doing. So just to open up with that, if you want to win a deck of Compass playing cards or have the chance to win one, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We'll do posts on our channels on Instagram, but basically all you need to do is follow Your Card Legacy, follow Cardistry Talk, and then post a photo of you watching this episode or listening to this episode if you're listening to it as a podcast. That's assuming that the deck gets funded, which I think it is based on how everything's progressing. So
yeah.
Did I miss anything with that?
Yeah, you can post it on Instagram or you send it to us privately, and then I'll just take all the names and then choose one random.
It's really awesome. I want to thank Cedric for coming up with this idea and putting it into motion. I really want to incorporate more giveaways and stuff in the future. So thank you for bringing that to the table. But just starting off with the interview, I know you're more of a designer and more of a collector, but how did you kind of get started into cards?
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing because I started out doing magic like most of the community here, especially like the older community, started out doing magic. When I was little, I'm originally from Mexico, so there's not a big magic community there, especially where I lived. I was given the opportunity to like see some magic here and there and travel. I got to see a magician perform, and I remember I hated it. I remember I hated magic. My cousin always tells me that I cried one time when I saw a magician because I hated it. But something I clicked, and then the knowledge, I guess, behind of like knowing something that nobody else knows, how to like do something like make a deck of cards disappear and then reappear, and that's like was so amazing to me that I wanted to get into it, like learn all these secrets. So I remember finding a deck of cards and actually self-teaching myself how to do magic tricks, like learning how to use a key card and all the basic principles. So I was self-taught for most of the time of my youth. But then I discovered this. I don't know this. It's a small company called YouTube on the internet that later on I figured out that there were videos, and through those videos I discovered magic companies like Illusionist, Theory 11, Penguin Magic, and then from there I learned how to grow. And then I moved to the United States to a local magic, and I found there was a local magic shop here in McKinney, Texas, where I used to work at, and they took me in, they taught me magic, and they saw that I was really proficient with playing cards. And from there, they labeled me as a card flourisher because I love doing flourishes. It wasn't really known as cardistry at the beginning. It was like cardistry was a brand new word. And then I discovered Dan and Dave, the trilogy, and from there on, they had like the cardistry section, and it just blew up and changed my life. From there, I started like collecting playing cards because of it, and I started admiring just the card flourishes and everything to do with cardistry.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a really nice little setup here. So I appreciate you taking your time to set that up. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you guys are missing out because he's got a beautiful collection on display. I am always appreciative when people do the extra mile for this show. So I appreciate that. So just talking about your collection too, since I was just talking about that, one thing that you do differently than a lot of other people is keep a deck sealed a lot of times, and I just want you to potentially talk about why you do that, and because it's really different from what I've seen a lot of people do.
Yeah, especially growing up in Mexico, getting a deck of cards is way more expensive than you think, especially here in the United States, where people take it granted, like a $3 deck of cards. Like, I didn't grow up with that. Like, I didn't even grow up with Bicycle. That was like the crazy part. I had to use even cheaper quality decks. The majority of my collection is completely sealed, and I will get to that in a minute. But I remember like growing up and being able to afford my first deck of cards, which was like for high quality, which I knew was Bicycle. So the first one I was ever got was the red solo cup from Bicycle.
Yeah.
And I remember like loving it. Yeah, I still have it. I still have it somewhere. And then when I saw the Theory 11 Guardians deck, that was my second purchase, and that's still like in brand new condition. I could never, I could spring, but I was just like, I can't spring this, because for me it was a monumental achievement. Like, I was able to purchase this, and then that's how it was. Like, and I became like a collector. So every time I can buy more than one, I buy two, so I can open one, appreciate it, and then I keep one sealed. Because something that I love is the dedication and the passion that went through to making a deck of cards. This one. So somebody had to come up with a deck of cards. Like, you have the opportunity to design everything, create it, promote it, show it, and at the end, as for a deck for a deck creator, this is the way they wanted to present it to you. This is the way they wanted to give it to you, in this sealed cellophane.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was like something unique, that somebody spent so much time and effort to create something. I remember when like custom decks were started blowing up, especially with Fontaine and then the Virtuosos. They spent so much on like trying to present a high quality better than like the standard. And I always wanted to replicate that and always preserve that in my collection. Preserve every deck in the way that they wanted to present it to the consumer, basically. And that's something that it stuck with me, like keeping every deck for that reason. But like, I would never recommend that to somebody starting out or somebody getting into collecting. I really wouldn't recommend them to keep their decks sealed. For me, it's more like I think a really personal reason, but there's many reasons why you shouldn't do that.
I think it goes to show, like, just in general with cardistry, collecting, magic, whatever, like there's no specifically right way to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find what you get enjoyment out of. Because, like, I mean, for me, I know a lot of people like really like are crazy about keeping all their cards together, making sure they're in good condition. And to me, like, I want to use the deck as much as possible. Like, I don't care if there's a card or two missing. Like, cards are meant to be used, and like I use them to the extent to the limit. But there's different types of collectors, and I used to collect video games. I think I've talked about this a little bit, but like there's like video game collectors that collect sealed boxes and sealed games, and like get it rated and stuff like that. So I'm curious if that'll ever be a thing where like we'll rate or sealed boxes or sealed playing cards in the future. If like that kind of market of people collecting sealed decks will ever grow to its own little niche.
I think so. I think it's we're gonna get to a point where somebody's gonna start rating their decks of cards. We're like a very common practice now these days is like getting them into the carrot cases or like these acrylic cases.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe we're eventually gonna get to that point, and if we do, I'm ready.
So thanks for explaining that. I think it's very unique, and I think it really goes to show your value of like appreciating the design work and the effort that goes into a deck. What was kind of the design and effort that you put into your deck that's on Kickstarter now? How was kind of the inspiration for the Compass playing cards, and how did that all kind of come about?
Yeah, I remember, especially looking at the virtuosos, especially the dedication they put into their videos and their first deck design. Well, it's kind of still the same one, but the virtuoso V1. They made something to work perfectly for cardistry, and the time and dedication they did that was, for me, was very impressive. So Compass playing cards came about that for wanting to create a deck of cards more tailored to the magician, but still workable for the cardist, still beautiful and still elegant, I guess, to be worked on a table or as a flourish. And I designed the deck back in 2016. I don't remember what date, but I remember getting the prototype by May of 2016. And for me, it was a very monumental achievement to have the prototype for the Compass playing cards, because it was the first deck of cards that everybody just like, when they saw it, they were like, "What is that? That is very unique." And I was I was pretty excited. And through the feedback and through testing and putting into the test, I was able to do a couple adjustments here and there. And then I remember taking it to Cardistry Con, being able to show it off to a lot of the deck designers that I admired, and have it be handled by top-rated magicians. And all their feedback was put into it to work. And I wanted to give everybody the best experience. I remember my father say, "Don't worry about the how much it costs to make. Just make sure everybody gets the best quality." So that's why I'm working with United States PCC to produce the best deck of cards. Also to work. I'm working with gamblers to create a unique tuck box with gold foil. Yeah, we just, I don't know. It's just been a long process. I've just been trying to put like the best materials, the best stock, the best quality of paper, the best inks available to really get this deck into people's hands. And I want people to enjoy it, to know the passion that went behind it, with it, all the details, the I don't know, the little messages I hid in the deck. But I hope people enjoy.
I'm excited for it. I think people will enjoy it too. If you've watched the show before, you probably already know that like I'm a circle back slut. This one will be explicit. This episode. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm a big fan of circle backs, so I'm excited. I've already backed it. If you guys haven't, it's still going to be up for a while after this episode, so definitely go check it out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what people think about it, and I really hope it gets funded. I know you've been putting a lot of effort into this. You're actually, people at home, I actually know Cedric. This is like one of the very few interviews where I know the person I'm interviewing before I'm actually interviewing them. So yeah, he's put a lot of work into this, and I don't want this to feel like an ad, but I'm just very appreciative of the work he puts into his designs. Not only for Your Card Legacy, he also does designs for Gliders Cardistry, and he's working on a lot of projects. So I'm excited to see him blow up, hopefully, in the coming years. Yeah. Pop off. And yeah, speaking of Gliders Cardistry, because you've designed a lot of decks for them, and they've been on the show previously, Will Reed. And what has your experience been like working with Will from Gliders Cardistry and designing all those decks and everything?
Yeah, I remember Will reaching out to me. I know during the whole world situation that happened in 2020, Will reached out to me saying, "Hey, I I, I see there's a hole in the market for cardistry trainers." And he knew that I was a collector. As I collected playing cards, I also collect a lot of trainers. And squids was mainly the one I collected. And so he knew that I knew the market. I knew like how to reach people, how to create this, like create designs and do the outreach. He contacted me, said, "Hey, do you want to help me out?" And then I said, "Yes, I want to help you out. I know that this will grow." And then he showed me the first prototype that he made for the gliders. And I remember it being like it is still a prototype. Like it had cat hairs and stuff. Like he was like still quality was missing. But I felt it for the first time. I was like, this has so much potential. So then I created the first design for him so this was the first collaboration we did. So this was the Stingers. So Cedric X gliders. So this is the first one iteration. So kind of background, it's based on one of my favorite card designs, the Camaro, the Bumblebee Camaro from Transformers. So that's where this is inspired from. And then he gave me these, and then when I grabbed these, I was like, this is better quality than any other trainers I ever had. And that's a lot of the feedback we get. Everybody that has been able to handle these, we receive that it's like they see the quality that comes from this. And from there, we just have been blowing up and doing orders and all over the world. We've been working with big companies now, and I keep designing for them. And then we're soon going to be releasing pretty soon. We're releasing the Aperture deck based on this design that we've made that was really popular. I'm having 2 Kickstarters, and it's funny because they're going to be competing against each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's like, we planned it out this way, so we can have like both decks being advertising each other, because I don't know, like the community needs. I believe that for us, like I have my followers, he has his followers, and we know that our followers like the same thing, so we know that they will appreciate both decks that we're releasing. And then we're working with as partner as Cardistry. We're also helping other card companies or card designers to produce decks with us, and helping them to reach the market. So that's another thing we're trying to do. We have a lot in store for gliders. We're trying to introduce more products. It's been crazy, and it's been also crazy seeing your growth, knowing that Will was like the second interview that you did. And then now seeing you with what did we say,
24 now for this one.
24 videos now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's been great to be able to work with other people and helping them grow too.
Yeah, and I think it's very cool too, just because we did start around the same time. I think gliders probably started a little bit before me, but it's nice to see like another small brand or company or whatever you would say, doing really good work and like having that be acknowledged. And like, even though like gliders and Cardistry Talk isn't like the biggest follower wise, right? Like we're still putting out really good stuff. And I think that's really awesome. And yeah, like you said with the gliders too, like I barely knew Will when I did the interview, actually. And like now I'm really close with like you and Will, and I get to know you guys very well. And I finally get the product that you guys, release, the gliders, and like they're very fun to use, and like they're better, like you said, they're better than most of the stuff that the only other things I've had are like acrylic trainers, which aren't they're too smooth, they don't have any grip. But these, they have a really nice feel. They have a really nice sound. So I don't know. It's just very cool to see you guys grow as well. And I'm hoping to just, like I said, I'm hoping to see you guys explode in the next year or two. I think it'd be great.
Especially for me, like I'm starting up Your Card Legacy will be like my company for deck design. So basically, I'm going to be releasing playing cards and also working with other people releasing their playing cards. I can't really say because of like legal reasons, but I've been working with other companies and helping them with logo designs, but also with card designs that are hopefully coming out in the future. So that's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's my whole goal, is to be able to be helping the younger cardists, I guess, and the magicians to produce decks of cards for themselves. One thing that I'm trying to do is helping people to promote themselves with their own deck of cards, like getting their own hands, like with their prototype, and then promote it themselves, and then see where that goes. And if they want to just keep the deck for themselves, or if they want to like do a Kickstarter or buy a bunch and then sell them, like that's kind of like my thing. Like I want to be a deck designer, and it's something that brings me joy, brings me a lot of passion, to be able to be working with a bunch of companies and people that I've used to admire or just be friends with.
That's really cool. When you go to design a deck, how do you kind of go about the process of designing a deck creatively?
I can talk a little bit about the compass playing cards, how that came about. I wanted to incorporate what I loved first about playing cards, which were my favorite playing cards. I remember the time that I made the compass playing cards. I love circle back designs too. I never owned the Tally Ho blue back, but that was actually inspiration for this deck of cards. Not because of the blue color. It used to be black, this one, but and then incorporate things that I like and what I wanted to see. So I looked at a bunch of playing cards that were in the market, and things I didn't see was a world and traveling aspect. At the time that I created this, there were not much of them, and I knew that I wanted to incorporate basically kind of in a selfish way. I wanted to put Mexico in the cards, but I was like, well, no one's gonna buy like a Mexico deck, but I knew that wasn't like where I was going with it, but it was like the idea. And then I wanted to put the world. So in the cards, it's featured a map with the world. So I knew that eventually I wanted to add that. So I started looking at things that I admired and liked, and I love time. So I incorporated like the rim of a time. Then I remember traveling locations that led me to look at compass roses and see their design and how to make it a simplistic style, but still keep it elegant. And then adding the world into the background, adding the grids or that you see in the maps, and just seeing this come together. There was a lot of adding and subtracting, which comes with a lot of things. And then really, when you have the idea set, I look for a lot of feedback. It was like just quick glance. What did you think? What did you see? Did you like it? Did you like it? And give it to somebody to look for it, like for 5 minutes. What did you think? What did you see? And see the feedback from there, and like take away, put in. And that's really where I try to do when somebody says I have an idea for a deck of cards. I start trying to design it at that point to see what I can do, and then they see what I do, and then oh no, I want to change this, and then edit it and change what make the necessary changes to make it look better. And then it takes a while, but eventually we get to a point where we feel we feel like it's near perfection, right? Like there's nothing that's really perfect, but it gets to a point where we feel it is ready.
Like you said, this deck of cards been in development for, maybe half a decade at this point, right? 4 years or more. So maybe.
Yeah.
How excited are you for the release, and how excited are you for future projects going in?
It really will feel like a relief for this deck of cards, because I don't know, I've worked so hard for it, and it's one of my longest lived projects, I guess, on and off. And I think I'll be super happy. I don't think I will cry, but I'd be very, very excited and very grateful for all the backers. Right now, I have, at this moment, I have 150 backers. And for me, that's been super amazing. I don't know, it fills me up with joy every time to see like somebody is willing to support this deck design. So yeah, I'm very grateful, filled with joy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm always super appreciative. I think when like people look at numbers, like as pertaining to like views or like backers, or you think of like the thousands and the millions of views that like PewDiePie or like some of these crazy people get, and then you don't really think about like that number. Each one of those numbers is a person. So like, even though these interviews only get like 200 to 300 views or listens per episode, like if you were to put that many people in a room, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think about, and that's kind of one thing that's kept me going in this, is realizing that each one of those numbers is a person. So like 150 people, like that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's very crazy to be like, hey, I have this this deck design. Do you like it? And then 100 people stand up and it's like, oh wow, okay. And then who wants to support it? And then just more people come and join it. That is incredible. And I know that like for us, like our communities are pretty small, but we know a bunch of them. We've seen the support they give us, and we're grateful for their support, their likes, their sharing, and then for the ones who are dedicated to like jump on every live stream or every video ready to view it. Like we know them, so it's very, very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice, like you said, like knowing the people who you're interacting with, actually having a relationship with them. I've talked about this with you a little bit in the past, I believe, but like I'm actually not quite looking forward to the point where I grow to the point where like I can't know who I'm interacting with. I'm getting to that point now too, even though I'm still very small, that like I don't know everybody that's commenting. And like that kind of sucks, honestly, because like I want to have a relationship with everybody that is viewing my stuff or like interacting with me. So for you personally, what is kind of like your goals moving forward after this deck and everything?
Well, for after this deck, is making sure like everything is really fulfilled. Working for this deck, definitely just making sure quality shipping, fulfilling everything. But I'm working with Cardistry to produce a deck. Then we're working with Gliders to help launch another deck of cards. And then I guess I just will keep designing. Like that's my goal. That's I want to be in the big leagues. No, just kidding. I don't know. Like right now, I discovered Jack from King's Wild project, and how he has like 12 decks already pre-designed, pre-approved, ready to be printed at any time. And that just amazes me, like being able to produce very high quality decks of cards and be able to be a great designer at it and have that passion to offer great quality. And I just discovered him like a couple months ago, and knowing that there's somebody like there with a similar passion for deck design, that's kind of where I want to go towards. Definitely offers something different, grow a different community, but definitely keep the passion of deck designing and helping everybody to grow. Because I want people like who are small, and like especially you, I want you to have your own deck of cards. And like I've told you in the past, like I want to design it. Like
someday I'll release a deck of cards. So just have that in the back of your mind, folks. Just be prepared. So Cedric, at the end of the show, I like to do what I call the rapid round of questions, which is 3 minutes of as many random questions as possible. I know you've seen the show, so I know you know the concept, but are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
All right. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
All right. Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. All the time.
Who is the most famous cardist you've met?
Oof. I don't want to say because I know too many. So I don't want to.
Okay. Upset anybody?
Yeah.
Have you ever broken a bone?
No.
What is your favorite TV show right now?
Mandalorian.
Nice. What would the title of your autobiography be?
Karma.
If you could have any word added to the dictionary, what would it be?
Cardistry.
There you go. If you could have coffee with any Disney character, who would it be?
I don't drink coffee, but definitely Flynn from Tron.
Favorite movie?
The Last Samurai.
Do you have a favorite unoriginal move? So a move you didn't create.
The Shredder move. Unoriginal.
Unoriginal.
The spring or the flex. No, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite deck of cards at the moment?
Compass playing cards.
Yeah, there you go. Favorite type of food?
Ribs.
Ribs. Do you have a favorite restaurant?
No.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flight or flight. I can't say the other one.
Teleportation?
Yeah.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Over, like the pattern.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite musician?
No.
Do you have a favorite genre of music?
No.
You need to get
So
cultured,
bad.
my man. Spotify or Apple Music?
Apple Music, but I don't pay for either of them, so.
Mm. Reading a book or playing a video game?
Reading a book, I can't read.
Timer.
We're just gonna leave it at that. I can't read.
I can't read. Timer. And end of the episode.
Yeah.
So I've had this happen a few times, but never towards the end where the wheel just crashes.
Oh.
It just did it towards the end there. So those last 3 or 4 were from the top of my head, and I was very stressed. But I will calculate that in post. That was a lot of answers. We'll see. I know Shuffle Stuffle has the record right now, I think with 22. So
yeah, I don't think I broke it. I tried though, but man,
you did.
I need to get better at music. I like not music, but like learning about music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cedric, I want to thank you for taking your time. and coming down to the show today. What I like to do at the end of the show is roll out the close-up pad. Is there anything that you would like to promote?
Yes. Compass playing cards, definitely, especially follow me, follow Your Card Legacy. Help us get the Compass playing cards completely funded. Promote, I guess, Cardistry Talks, because they're awesome. And then don't forget about the giveaway. And Glider's Cardistry, because I work there too, so yeah.
So we've kind of all talked about that, but just a reminder, I'll have links to all that stuff in the description. Definitely check out the Compass Playing Cards Kickstarter if you haven't. Cedric, thank you for coming to the show. I hope everybody learned a little bit something and enjoyed their time. So we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.